As a learning-centered college, we are committed to student success and fostering research and innovation.
We have expertise in grant writing. We can help with connecting to financial resources, grants from funding agencies, and many more resources that they can tap into through our center.
This is where it all started 9 years ago. Mama's Life Products. This is actually one of the locations where I had my first office space. As a young entrepreneur, when you're starting a business, one of your biggest challenges is just making do with limited resources that you have.
My name's Andrew Baer, and I'm a professor here at Centennial College. I teach chemistry, and I also teach in the environmental program in ABS, which is where I met Ahmed. He was a student of mine. Applied research was really willing, bend over backwards to help you out in figuring out how to fill out the forms and all the deadlines and what needed to go in at what time. And
I'm Marilyn Harry, and I'm the Dean of Learning, Teaching, and Scholarship at Centennial College.
I'm Donald Eason, and I'm the coordinator of the Developmental Service Worker Program in Community Studies Department at Centennial College.
We started small. We knew that we couldn't do it just on our own with our own department funds. So the research office at Centennial College has an annual fund where you can submit. It doesn't take a lot of time or effort to submit the funding opportunity, but it does take, I think, some real thought.
The Friendly Housemates project involves examining a shared living situation between two people, one person who has an intellectual disability and the other person who is a college student. The salient point of it is housemates. It's the roles of the two people, so they're not in a staff role or a client role or a parent role. They're actually roommates, friendly roommates.
I'm Matt Poirier. I'm a community support coordinator for a nonprofit called Community Living Toronto, and we support individuals that have an intellectual disability. And I'm working on a project called the Friendly Housemates Research Project. Collaborating with Centennial and Dr. Marilyn Harry has been a very eye-opening experience. It's not very often that we get the opportunity here at Community Living Toronto to work with people outside of our own little bubble. So when the chance came up, I jumped on it.
So, we recognize that many of our faculty may not have prior research and innovation experience or training, and so which is why we are there to help.
We have project management resources. We can help with hiring students, contracts, services, purchasing materials necessary for the research.
As you can see, we still carry my products. This is actually one of our main distribution centers. Some of the first batches of Mama's Life products were made in this tiny office space back here, where we used to utilize a hot plate with a simple boiler system. Just due to the sheer size of our growth, we had to basically get bigger space, and we're no longer currently using this back room anymore. But as you can still see, there's a lot of storage still happening here. And when I look back, boy, do I get this good feeling inside. This is where it all began.
at the end of the day, Ahmed gets some research that he wouldn't otherwise be able to do because he's a small company. And our students at Centennial College get an experience in an industrial setting.
I think you don't have to come from any specific discipline in order to do research, that it is, as you say, the ability to look at things differently, look at things in a curious mindset and a willingness to learn.
So it takes a village to raise a child. And I've been a product of my village here. When I closed the deal to get my products on the shelf, it was a breakthrough moment for me. Amongst the health food stores in the industry, the Big Carrot definitely sits on the top. For my product to be aligned with such a brand that's established in Toronto, it was again just some more reinforcement of where my company was headed.
When I wake up and I'm going to do something in the lab, it's going to be a surprise what happens. I mean, that's the whole thing about research. You ask the question, but you don't know the answer until you do the experiment.
When we think about what is research and what is scholarship, to me the definition is that it's shareable, it's something that's out there, and it can be built upon by others. And as an academic institution, that's a big part of our responsibility, is to discover new knowledge, but also to share it with others.